yeah, 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 yeah. Shake it, but keep pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eyes. The Bible guy. He reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy. He turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy. Watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
All right. Merry fucking Christmas, everyone. This is the Bible Guy coming at you live from Northeast Texas. Hope everyone is having a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. And also got some information for you guys. As of now, the Discord server is up and running. So in the description of this live video, you'll see a link to the Discord. Click on that, and now you can be part of the Duncanite community. How are you doing today, Ashlyn? How was your Christmas?
I'm doing well. It was all right. It was chill. Just hung out. How about yourself?
It doing pretty darn good. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. And but also a reminder to everyone, we are going to be having this Saturday, hopefully before the live starts, I'm going to be having a few packages coming in the mail. A little Christmas gift for the show. Better camera. I'm going to get myself a better camera, and hopefully that'll make the quality of the show boost up a little bit. Then next Saturday, I think it's next Saturday. Is next Saturday the 2nd? Let's take a look at my calendar. Let's see. Open up calendar. No, it's next Friday. Next Friday, I got another something coming in the mail. I'm not going to tell any of you guys yet, but it's going to increase the quality of these lives, and make it a lot more easier for everyone on YouTube to see what's going on. You'll see. I'll make a video about it Friday, and then you guys can see it in action on Saturday. But anyways, make sure everyone you are tapping that screen, sharing the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations and see whether or not any Christians out there can lead me to believe that the Bible, why I should believe the Bible is true. It is allegedly the birthday of their God. So let's see if anyone out there, any Christians out there, are willing to put in the work to defend their God. Now, I don't know how much traffic we're honestly going to get today. I don't know if Christians are on TikTok on Christmas Day. But I saw Blitz was on earlier and he was getting some traffic. So hopefully we'll get at least a few calls in today. We're going to try to push for at least an hour show, and we're going to try to push it to at least 3 hours if we get more guests. We do have a comment already though from Orthodox Way saying, I probably wouldn't fit into the stream much, but may I ask what Bible y'all learn from? The Greek and Hebrew.
Or the NRSVUE. We Dalton, come on.
Oh yeah. If we're talking about English translations, the New Revised Standard Version, updated edition. But we do already have our first guest for the day, Dreamyod. Dreamyod, I'm going to ask you the same 4 preliminary questions that I ask every one of my guests.
Hold on. I'm 20. I gotta say that because sometimes people's lives will get taken down.
Yeah, these are the 4 preliminary questions. 1, are you at least 18? 2, are you a Bible believer? Are you a Bible believer?
Yeah, partial.
All right. Question number 3, how much of the Bible have you read?
The entirety.
And then question number 4, what pronouns do you prefer to go by?
I don't really mind. I don't know much about all that. I'm not gonna lie.
But do you he him? All right. Dreamy he him. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I don't believe that. I don't believe in the Bible. Dreamy, why should I?
Okay. Let me ask you 3 preliminary questions. Okay. Restate restate what you just said one more time, please.
I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I?
Okay, so I don't want to like nitpick here, but I really got to get a feel for what you're saying. When you're saying you don't believe in the Bible, are you saying like the entirety, or are you saying like the gospel accounts aren't true, or are you saying like or just the entire book it's wrote away?
The
None of
majority,
it happened.
the majority of it is not historically accurate, not scientifically accurate, unfulfilled prophecies. Jesus wasn't Messiah. I don't have any reason to believe in the content of the Bible.
Yeah, but you can agree that there are some claims that most certainly happened within history at some time. It's not 100%.
Sure, Nebuchadnezzar conquered the Jewish
Yeah.
people and took them into
Yeah,
exile.
like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to.
when it comes to the Gospels, I hardly believe anything in them are historically accurate outside of
Yeah,
the
well,
fact
those are the
that
most.
outside of the crucifixion of Jesus of Nazareth.
Okay, give me okay, let me think. Because belief is different for multiple people. I mean, sometimes belief is a feeling, seeing something. Well, what, in your words, if you could describe it to the best of your ability to me, what would I be able to do? What are you requesting of me to assist you in believing? Is it me showing you, you feeling something, me telling you something?
Evidence.
What would help?
Evidence that would lead to me believing that the Bible was reliable and worthy of belief.
Okay. And, well, silly question, but it's got to get out of the way. You do not subscribe to using the Bible as evidence for the Bible, right? Like I can't just whip out a verse here and say this happened, so now you believe, right?
Generally, no. Now, one area where I give leeway is if Christians want to try to prove that Jesus fulfilled messianic prophecy, they're allowed to cite the Hebrew Bible. That's the one area where I allow for the Bible to be used as evidence and for an argument.
Okay, but okay. I'm trying to think of a way to go at this, because even if I could prove something like that, that doesn't prove Christianity to be true. That just proves that something weird happened at some point in time.
Well, if
So
Jesus
unless
fulfilled
if that's
messianic
proof for
prophecy,
you.
I would believe in the Bible if Jesus fulfilled prophecies.
Okay, so that actually helps a lot then. Okay, so so your degree of proof is different than mine. So if I could find a gospel account here, obviously I can't do the resurrection. I mean, if I could prove that, everybody would be Christian. But if I could find something like that, with all the evidence that you're requesting, would you then grant the rest of the gospel account? Because you're saying it's all encompassing. If I can do one miracle and prove it without a reasonable doubt, I'm questioning slightly why you're agreeing.
If
with
you
the rest.
could demonstrate
didn't
that
say-
Jesus of Nazareth fulfilled messianic prophecy, then I would believe he was the Messiah.
One single prophecy or all the accounts of?
Even one. I would be impressed if you could even
Okay.
get one.
Okay, but that's going to be really interesting. 'Cause most people like proof without a reasonable doubt. I mean, you're willing to accept the rest. Is honestly quite fair. Let me think. I can't think of a gospel account that I could use for something like that, but I could use something like. Sorry, let me think here. I'm not trying to say some stupid answer. Would you define the 500 eyewitnesses as proof?
Do you know
No.
what like messianic prophecy is, or are you just changing? Like, do you know what that is, or are you just like saying, "Well, I can't do that, so I'm going to move on"?
No, I can't. I mean, I cannot prove without a reasonable doubt that any gospel account. So I'm trying to.
No,
shift
no,
to it,
messianic prophecy.
Yeah, so we're talking about
Do you not know what that is?
predictions given by the prophets in the Old Testament about what the Messiah would do, and Jesus having
Oh
done
yeah,
those
so
things.
and then the. Sorry, I'm not near as well versed as you. You're very articulate. So would that be like the flight to Egypt or something? And he did that to fulfill messianic prophecy. Is that what you're referring to?
Sure. Although the problem here is going to be that the Hebrew Bible never actually prophesies that
Yeah,
the
I know that's a
Messiah
contradiction. Yeah.
will fly to Egypt. That's a misquotation from the part of Matthew.
I know I used a bad example, but I was saying if I could prove something like that, that's what you'd count as a fulfillment of a messianic prophecy, not necessarily like a healing a blind person, but something like that.
Yeah, that would just be a
Like,
miracle, not a prophecy fulfillment.
okay, so I still don't think I still want to defer to one that I'm a bit stronger in. The 500 eyewitnesses. What credence do you give to that? What validity do you feel that has?
Not very much. I mean, here, let me ask you a few questions about the 500.
Absolutely.
Do we know any of their names?
Absolutely not.
Do we know where they lived?
No.
Do we have any testimony from them concerning what it is that they saw?
No.
Do we know anything about them?
Well, no. So, okay, let me. Sorry, I asked a really broad question. I was trying to get a grasp for what you would categorize that as. Like, I mean, obviously, you already know. Well, so you already know that there's no evidence for it. It's just one guy saying that 500 people saw it.
I would categorize it if there were indeed a group of 500. I would categorize this as mass religious hysteria, comparable to what we see, for example, with the miracle of the dancing sun, Fatima. We don't really know that the entirety of the 500 all saw the same exact thing, and we don't know anything about that appearance of Jesus. And I'm inclined to believe that the appearance of Jesus was not a flesh and blood appearance, but rather a visionary sort of experience that the 500 are having.
Yes. So sorry, I'm going to try and clarify with my questions a bit more. I was trying to get a feel for because I assume you already know all that. You already know all the context. What level of proof, like 1 through 100%, weird way of saying it, but 1 through 100%, would you give to just the claim alone that was written down, that there were 500 people that saw it? Not like acknowledging that it's true, just the claim in and of itself.
The strength of the claim, very low.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just Paul saying that 500, that Jesus, quote, appeared to 500 people and nothing more.
Yeah. So, okay. So your degree of proof for something like that would be like that. That's like 5% or something like that. And then if you could prove that it actually was, you'd say it's mass hysteria. It's like 30%, right?
Yeah. Like we don't know, for example, that every one of the 500 all actually saw Jesus, or that they even saw the same exact thing. We don't have comparative testimony about what it is that they each would have seen.
That's even a hard account to do, because I mean, think if that were true, I don't know how they would actually be able to get 500 perfectly transcribed accounts. I mean, most people back then are completely like illiterate. I mean, you got to think. I mean,
you get a scribe, you take down some testimonies, even if it's just like at least 5 of them, but we don't even have one.
Okay, yeah, it's fine, because I thought you were trying to say that like 500 people didn't say exactly what happened. I mean, that's just an absurd ask. But if you're saying that 5 did matched up, that would be sufficient to make you believe. Is that what you're saying?
That would be sufficient to let me know that what it is that they saw. It would give me more information to make a determination on. I'm not convinced that what the 500 are experiencing is Jesus in the room with them, looking at him. As far as the text is concerned, it could just as easily be 500 or so people having a visionary experience of Jesus, more like what you would expect from a large gathering of like Pentecostal Christians.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm asking this is because I'm trying to save time so I could then encompass all this. So let me just give another example here, like the account that Jesus raised Nazareth from the dead. Would that have the same level of credence as the 500 gospel accounts, because it's just the same thing, the claim?
No, it's even less. Mostly because at least when it comes to 1 Corinthians 15, we know who wrote that work. We don't know who wrote the Gospel of John. It's written much, much, much later than 1 Corinthians 15. So it's unknown author, nearly 60 years after the alleged event took place. It's vastly different from the Synoptic Gospels. I don't think that anything in the Gospel of John is historical.
Actually, really good points brought up. The Synoptic Gospels. in terms of what scale you use for proof, do you feel that the Synoptic Gospels have a better way of explaining Christianity, right? And there is more proof backing their claims as opposed to the New Testament or something.
No, I think the best you're going to have for what earliest Christians believed about Jesus or in testimonies about Jesus is going to be the authentic Pauline epistles. I consider the Gospels to be mostly myths about the historical Jesus. There's very little in the Gospels that I consider actually historically accurate, which would be Jesus's crucifixion at the hands of the Romans at the behest of the Jewish leaders, and not much of anything else in the Gospels.
You're very, very intelligent, man. Hats off. I'm trying to think here. I see my questions becoming circular, so I'll just throw something at you, knowing you're just going to simply answer it because I'm a bit curious, honestly. So, like the Shroud of Turin, is that how you pronounce it?
Oh,
is that? I know it's I know.
Considering that one, it's been carbon dated to the 13th century, and two, we've actually been able to recreate the Shroud of Turin using medieval methods. Look, for example, to the works of Luigi Garglacelli. And then three, we even have letters from clergy members during this time period claiming that the artist himself had confessed to its creation. Not a lot of people put a lot of stock in the Shroud of Turin.
Okay, so that's an example of I tried switching it up, like a physical piece of proof, but within the physical proof, you need actual, contextual evidence for that proof. I'm trying to think. Because you're really smart. I mean, there's the accounts that would become somewhat circular. There's the physical evidence, which is very limited. If I guess I could just keep asking if questions. I don't really want to waste your time, but if they found the place where Jesus was crucified, and you could read his slab, would that be sufficient? But that doesn't prove that would prove anything to me?
That would just confirm what I already believe, that Jesus was crucified.
Oh, okay. A lot of people don't believe that Jesus even existed at all. It's just sheer lack of evidence. But if you're agreeing with that,
I'm on the fence on that. But that would definitely push me into a firm historicity if we found the actual plaque that had Jesus's that could be dated to the first century CE and had his the declaration of his. But it would be very unlikely considering that fact it was probably made out of wood. And probably wouldn't survive for 2,000 years.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably disintegrate, but if it was buried or something, who knows? God, man, I'm trying to stump you here, man. You're pretty smart. I'm thinking, if I gave you more accounts, would you chalk most of them up to mass hysteria, or a group? What's that word? Group.
Religious
hysteria.
Religious hysteria.
Hypnosis, or something like that. Yeah. But in large groups, where if you could correct me here. Actually, if you could educate me, it'd mean a lot. The account of, was it Paul or somebody seeing the light, and then the other people also
that's from
seeing,
Acts,
but not seeing what he was seeing.
That's from Acts, and I don't consider Acts to be historical either. Mostly because it contradicts Paul's own testimony about his own experience of coming to Jesus. Acts and Paul's own works say contradictory things about did he come into contact with people after he saw Jesus, and where was he, and for how long was he there, and it seems like Acts.
Could you summarize that real quick, because I have a brief idea of what it is, but you would know a lot more.
Paul has interactions with believers right away in the book of Acts after his conversion experience, but Paul's own works, he says that he was in contact with no person, received the gospel from no one. Then it says that he went away to Damascus. And then only then did he go to Jerusalem, whereas in the Acts of the Apostles, he goes from Damascus to Jerusalem. No mention of Arabia whatsoever. Most scholars in the Pauline literature would agree, especially those at the Wester Institute, had a really good book called The Authentic Letters of Paul, where they actually go into more detail about the discrepancies between Paul and the book of Acts. It's a really interesting read.
Thank you for educating me on that. I have something that might be more proof than what I've said so far. And like I said, you're going to know these things because I have a rough idea. So if I'm saying it wrong, you can cut me off and correct me. I don't remember exactly who it was that wrote. Who was it? Pontius Pilate? Somebody who wrote. There was a man loved by the Jews named Jesus Christ, and they claimed to have risen. You know what I'm talking about?
You're thinking of Flavius Josephus, who was a first century Jewish historian, and he writes, if it's authentic, there's a part in the Antiquities of the Jews which mentions that there was a wise man named Jesus. Yeah, book 8, chapter
18,
18, yeah.
Book 18, chapter 3, paragraph 3. Yeah, that paragraph is it makes sense if you like remove it, but for him to say that like Jesus to even be a man, like he says, you know, Jesus, there was a man like Jesus known as the Christ
or something in that word.
Yeah, if he was even like a man. Is basically what he says.
If it be lawful to call him a man. Basically, among scholars, there's an agreement that the Testimonium Flavianum is either partially interpolated, meaning that there's a partial addition to it, or it's entirely an interpolation, as in it wasn't written by
the word
Josephus.
Lord and stuff like that.
Well, he calls him he was the Christ, for example. Josephus as a Pharisee never would have said that he wasn't a Christian. But it's either a partial interpolation, which what's left after the impartial interpolation is just is that there was a man who was a wise teacher who was crucified at the behest of the Jewish leaders by the Romans, and that many of his followers are still here today. And if it turns out to be entirely an interpolation, then there's nothing there.
And even if it's proven to be true, you'd only count that as evidence for what you already agree with, that Christ was a real person that lived. That's all that would prove. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It doesn't get us.
That's fair. I mean, well, that's all it says.
Any of the supernatural claims.
Yeah, except for the extra, but that part, you know, like you said, there's a point of contention, if that's the right word. Well, you could educate me then. When is that? How close to the life of Jesus was that written?
Josephus' work?
Yeah, that exact thing.
60 years after.
60?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Antiquities was written in the 90s CE.
That's pretty bad. Man, I think that's it. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like present day, like, you know, at mega churches you'll see people like, you know, they feel things and they see things, but
I'm very anti mega church.
I would count mega churches as evidence against
Jesus. Well, I was just trying to something, because I've already done physical evidence. I did account evidence, and the last thing would be present evidence. But I think that one's probably the weakest because it's the furthest away, and it's also just you can't prove it unless you're not them. So I guess that's all, man.
If present day Christians are evidence, like I think they've actually done surveys, and only like 10% of them actually know what could like pass literacy test on the Bible. They're not good evidence.
Yeah,
sadly, this is true. But Dreamy, thank you for coming up. You were a good first guest for the day. You were kind and cordial, and you answered questions, which is all I can ever ask for. So you have a Merry Christmas, my dude.
You're very smart, man. Please. You too.
Also, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure to like the live. Hit that like button on the YouTube. We've got a lot of activity. Thanks for all the comments and all of that. But if you're on TikTok, your job is a little more important because we're still only doing guest and TikTok. So if you can, send a heart me. Tap that screen, repost, do all the things, share out the live. We appreciate all of you. Thank you, Evan. I appreciate you. But yeah, if you want to keep this going, we need to get people in here.
Yeah. We're gonna bring up Mother of Dragons next, but before we do that, I'm gonna read some super chats. From @GretchenZ. Let me get the
from @GretchenZ. Merry Schismus Duncan. I'm lay off of Blitz. So if you want to sign up for a hashtag blame Duncan or hashtag blame Dalton campaign, I can hook that up. Let me know. LOL. Wow, with the $31.11, thank you so much, Gretchen Z. Much appreciated for your holiday donation. This means a lot.
Donations mean a lot right now for the Bible Guy household, as me and my dad are the only people working right now. Everyone else has lost their jobs, and I literally am just like, I'm paying bills here I'm helping to pay bills here at the house. So, it's all very much appreciated.
And then at Kirby Shine with the £5. Ho, ho, ho. Come and sit on my knee, little one. Here are some pronouns for your guests to use when they don't believe in them. He, him, she, her, they, them. Remember those pronouns, children.
All right.
It's sad that has to be a PSA for Christians.
Yeah. All right. Mother of Dragons. I'm going to ask you the same 4 preliminary questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, of course.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
No, I'm an atheist.
Okay, then I'll skip question 3 and go to question 4. What are your pronouns?
She.
All right, Mother of Dragons, she, her, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. What brings you up to the show today?
Yeah, so hey, first of all, I want to say you're awesome. I think you're awesome. I've been listening and I'm like, I'm all in. I'm a hardcore atheist. I do a lot of debates. Obviously, I'm not debating you. But so I had a question for Dreamy. I want to say Dreamy was an excellent guest. He was an excellent guest, right? He was really listening to you and he understood. And the only comment I wanted to make to him that kind of struck a chord with me, he said he was looking for evidence to try to, to fulfill your prompt, to get you to believe in his Bible. And he said at one point, he said, but I know that your evidence, the evidence that you want, is different from the evidence that I would want, And that made me think, when we're talking about claims of the creation of the universe, right? There's an almighty sky daddy, and, Mary was a virgin, and Jesus came from the dead 3 days post-mortem. We should all require the same evidence, right? No one's level of evidence should be different. It should all be empirical evidence. And I didn't mean that, I don't mean that in a bad way to him, but I was just kind of like, why would anyone's evidence be different on those types of claims?
I agree. We should all have when it comes to extraordinary claims, we should all have extraordinary evidence. But hey, Mother of Dragons, thank you for coming up. And you have a happy holiday.
Hey, thank you. You as well.
All right, we're going to bring up, I actually know this individual is an opposition. So World of Fire, reminder, he, him, Bible believer, read a good amount of the Bible, and you go by he, him. All that correct?
Fascinated by your memory.
All right, World of Fire. What brings you back up to the show again?
Okay, cool. I of course, since our last few conversations, which I absolutely love, your challenging, highly challenging thoughts and questions concerning, of course, my Christian faith, which is based on the Bible. So that's great, and I really wish more Christians would be in depth in at least answering and hearing the questions that you have. So I did some studying with Snitch, and I also did some studying with other biologists, so forth, so on, concerning the idea of course, life. I've actually come to realize, and you've opened my mind to something here, that this is a very, 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 very controversial topic of the definition of life, even amongst biologists. So I don't think we would ever come to an agreement on that particular topic.
Yeah.
But
Also, I don't really have
what my question.
yeah, I don't really have any scientists of that caliber on the panel right now
Yeah.
either. So we should probably just stick to the Bible.
Right. No, that's what I was going to say. I don't even think that me and Snitch would agree. I have talked to her a little bit back and forth on there. She has done a great deal of research. She's a very brilliant woman, and
Snitch.
it goes with the scientific consensus. Right. Scientific Snitch is very intelligent. No problem there, and very well studied. What I did find out is that it's this brings down to the scientific consensus of things. I would say the scientific consensus of things.
I think we should just stick to talking about the Bible because I'm not an expert. I'm not even close to being an expert in this field. I wouldn't be able to respond to you with pretty much anything.
Right. No, and that's what I was going to say, actually, scientific consensus. Scientific consensus concerning the idea of the historicity of the Bible, whether it be mainline or conservative or whatever it may be. Would you agree with everything in the scientific consensus on the history of the Bible?
On the archaeological consensus?
Written historical text-wise that concludes or has to do with historical archaeological finds.
Yeah, I trust the archaeological evidence, either the evidence that's also in favor of certain stories of the Bible being true and all of the evidence also in favor of certain stories of the Bible being false.
Okay. For example, Pool of Salome, you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with places in the Bible actually existing. It's no different for me than the fact that, New York City exists in comic books, but, that doesn't mean any of the Marvel characters are real or true or
Spider-Man.
something like that. Spider-Man, for example. I'm more concerned with, for example, the fact that nothing concerning, it's Christmas Day, nothing about the nativity story seems to be historically accurate.
Oh, right. Here's an idea. Question. If all of the stories of the synoptics alone turned out to be true, this is a hypothetical, would you then be a Christian?
I would have to, because if the story of the synoptics includes the resurrection, so if the resurrection was true, and Jesus did perform miracles and prophesied his death and all that kind of stuff, then I wouldn't have a choice in the matter, because beliefs aren't choices. I would have to believe because the evidence would be in favor of that proposition.
No, that's really good. Thank you very much. Second thing is, do you believe in free will?
No.
Oh, cool. No, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool statement. I'll have some more topics for you on the question later. I'll let some other people come up here, whatever. I enjoy very much so. And there is a lot of explanations. I remember watching a debate with you not too long ago, which a guy was downing you because you didn't have a doctorate degree. And he was like, talking to you like this. And I was like, that's a horrible way to talk to somebody about that. But my point is that, for example, where it talks about Luke quotes as being Quirinius, things of that nature. I believe that there's explanations that have not been discovered yet for things such as, for example, Quirinius giving his first census, things of that nature.
Well,
although there is no...
When Luke says this was the first census when Quirinius was governor of Syria, it doesn't mean the first census that Quirinius performed. It means the first census over the people of Judea because of the death of Archelaus. Ashlyn, you're breathing.
Sorry.
Because of the fact that the region of Judea had been annexed to Rome, and then Quirinius was made governor of Syria, the first census of the people of Judea was under Quirinius, and there were many more every 14 years or so.
Well, I would say on that note, would you agree with me that Acts talks about the census?
It mentions a census, yes. I mean, they would do a census of
Right.
the people every 14. If you were a part of if you were a region, a province of Rome, you would be, according to Egyptian records, at least for the Romans, you would be censused every 14 years. So the 6th CE census of Quirinius was just the first of the many censuses of the people of Judea that would come about in later time. Although Quirinius' census would have no effect on anyone living in Galilee. It was only for the people of Judea.
Okay. On that note, I already understand you probably reject the idea of there being some unknown census by Quirinius. But my question is that, and which I know you're well aware of, is that Pontius Pilate at one time was only quoted in the Gospels until further recognition of his discovery. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I would chalk that up to that on my perspective, of course, and I would admit my biases as well.
Yeah, I would just say that if I were in your position, I would just say that, well, until such a time as the data does present itself, then we're not justified in believing that there was ever another census under Quirinius. It may be there's evidence out there, but until it comes out, none of us are justified in holding to that position.
Oh, it's funny you brought up something here, law of logic and justification. That's where I would kind of, not completely, but kind of disagree with you on. And I'd base it on the fact that he is right on several other things, such as Pontius Pilate, so forth, so on, and that because of that, there might be some unknown source in which I would agree the burden of proof is on me to examine that in the future.
Well, I mean, whenever Luke says something that we don't have any data to support it, and all the data seems to go contrary to it, then the burden of proof,
such as Pontius Pilate.
It does. It contradicts in that it wasn't during the time when King Herod the Great was king of Judea, like Matthew says, and it wasn't a world or an empire, even an empire-wide census, and it wouldn't have affected anyone living in Galilee. And also, it doesn't make any sense to have people leave their homes, their home regions, for a census. The whole purpose of a census is to have people return to their homes so you know where they live and where they work, which is why when we see the censuses taking place in Egypt around the same time, that the people are instructed to return to their nomes. Nomes being not nomes with a G, everyone, nomes with an M. This is an N. This is like a shire, like a region within Egypt. Return to your nome, to the region where you come from, so that we can do a census of you.
And right, and I think that's the point which we'd get on, is we're not talking about the same census. I would consider it a census that's yet to be discovered.
But what's the point of a census? What's the point of a census?
To gather a collection of information to get a count.
Okay, a count of what?
I have a question. Like, why wouldn't it seems to me like when you actually look at it, it seems like this is here because, and like it seems to fit like the gospel accounts entirely, that they are trying to bend Jesus to be born in Bethlehem rather than anything else, because they think that according to prophecy that would make Jesus the Messiah. Like that seems to just fit into what is going on in the Gospels, kind of thematically more.
I would agree with you.
Yeah,
that's
contrived.
I believe that. Yeah, I would believe that the New Testament writers. I know your feeling on the New Testament writers, but I take the other side of the New Testament writers that yes, that these prophecies were fulfilled and that they were writing according to it. Now, if you remove the New Testament, I agree with you. You would have a complete contradiction.
I mean,
but of course that'd be a whole other topic.
That's problematic because the prophecy doesn't say that.
Yeah, the prophets never said the Messiah will be born in Bethlehem. This is just a misreading on the part of the New Testament authors.
Going forth.
Well,
is
that's
from
what I'm saying.
Bethlehem.
You have to reject the New Testament authors in order to come to the claim which you're claiming, which I agree with.
Well, no, I just have to read Micah for what it says.
Right, but if we have if it is true that a first century Jew was understanding, Micah or Nehemiah or so forth, so on, or Isaiah, we would come to the conclusion that if they said what was true, then that would make Jesus the Messiah. But if you reject the New Testament authors, of course, you could easily come to the conclusion what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't put a lot of stock into the interpretive lens of first century Jewish people, mostly because we know that they were very liberal with how they read the Hebrew Bible, like Pesharim, for example.
No, actually, it's funny. I actually agree with you on that. They were very liberal on that. It was especially the Talmud and so forth, so on, and understanding the teachings of the rabbis. It gets kind of wavy in there and their traditions. I love your understanding of Philo. And yeah, I don't find a reason to reject like you do, but I will tell you what, I will be back and I will do more research on this topic, particularly historicity of Luke, particularly, and I will get back with you on this. And I have been in contact with Snitch, but she's a very busy woman and very educated, and I understand she's busy. So thank you for your time and allowing me on this platform to ask you questions.
All right. Have a Merry Christmas, World of Fire.
You too, man, and I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Peace.
Peace. All right, we're going to read some super chats, and then we'll bring up Velrayo. So,
At Mr. C. Kendall with the $5. Love you, Duncan, and you too, Ashland. Gotta get back to my Lions game, but we'll watch later. Well, we're glad that you checked in for just a moment, Mr. Kendall. We very much appreciate you. And then at Carlos Valdez Maven. Yeah.
I think we're supposed to say like "Go Lions" or something. I'm not a sports person.
Oh, I don't know much about sports ball, but yes, go Lions. And then at Carlos Valdez with the 200 pesos. Happy Christmas, guys. Loving be here with you today. Enjoyed yesterday's co-host with Justin. Well, yes, always enjoy Justin's shows, obviously. And then at Fern Love Bond with the $2. Bills suck. Oh, Bill, I thought this was another sports team. No, yeah, paying bills sucks. I never asked to be born into a world where I had to pay bills. Nonetheless, here we are. And then one last super chat before we move on to the next guest. At Carlos Valls again, sending 10 The Bible Guy gift memberships. Make sure, everyone, that if you are in the YouTube, that you jump on that opportunity.
all right. Now, let's take a look. Our next guest is Velrayo. Velrayo, I'm going to ask you the same 4 preliminary questions that I ask every one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
I am.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I am not.
All right, I'll skip question 3 and go to question 4 then. What are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right, Velrayo, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy. What brings you up to the show?
I don't necessarily, in the short time I've been on your live, think that you should believe in the Bible, but I would like to present an argument for why some people should.
This is interesting. Why do you think some people should believe in the Bible?
Sure. So I'm agnostic, and I don't think the Bible is literally true at all. And I don't really think that most people in general need religion at all to be a good person. However, I do think in some cases that an external moral system can act as like a parking brake substitute for people that need to be told to be a good person so that they're not just awful human beings.
Well,
I don't think we're gonna give you pushback on that.
Well,
I don't think
I am going to say that
evident.
I am going to say, though, that some of these people, when they get religious, do not become good people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm just talking about a narrow, uncomfortable, atypical personality where a belief system, they're not going to dig deep. They're not going to look into the atrocities of the book, but just the oversimplified do good or you're going to burn in hell might keep them from performing atrocities in this world. And for that very, very narrow, pocket of people, I think they should be religious. If they need to be told to
Okay.
not be a terrible person, I think they should be religious.
It could be a good placeholder until they are able to receive better information, therapy, and there are better systems out there. I mean, they could,
No,
for
I
example, secular
totally agree.
humanism. It could be a good
Totally agree.
placeholder.
I'm talking about the pocket of very narrow therapy's not working, medication's not working. However, if they're scared to death about harm that's going to come to them in an afterlife and that causes them to stay in their lane, that again, that very narrow, I agree with everything you're saying about there's much better ways to approach this. But I do think the way some people are wired, and I have one in my family to be particular, that they need religion. They need it. Not because it's a necessity to humans, but because it's a necessity to their brain. That's just how they respond. I want that person in my family to be religious because I know if they are not, when they've tried therapy and they've tried medications, it's like the one little string that's keeping them from being a terrible person in this world.
I think if you like fall under the guise of like antisocial personality disorder, authority is not going to like necessarily lead you to being a better person because those personality types tend to like rebel authority.
Sure.
I don't think that I don't know that like this is necessarily like a good even first start for these individuals either.
Agree.
I don't know why this is the case. Why would you bring this up? I guess like it is very clear that like people are broadly different. There are spectrums of individuals. And if it works for someone, it works for someone. Like I don't even think that like if it's something that you really want to do and it's just a major preference that you have, I don't think we should go around trying to convince those individuals not to be that as long as they're a good person. I personally don't think that I don't think it's my responsibility or my obligation to like go out of my way to convince them. I think that
Totally agree.
if they're so I don't.
Yeah,
You won't
what
find
I'm
me
saying is
knocking
I'm
on
not
no one's-
speaking absolutes.
Yeah, you won't find me knocking
Yeah, I'm
on
not
no one's
speaking
door
absolutes.
for sure.
No, and I'm not speaking that it's a necessity. I made that clear in my opening statement. It's not a necessity. I just feel that there are some individuals out there that if that is the only thing that's helping to keep them balanced, and that individual that is not the majority by any means, that individual should be religious. And I'm saying this as an agnostic atheist.
Real quick in the comment section, an individual named The Truth, by the way, always a huge red flag every time I see someone who's got the word truth in their in their name. The Truth. Why don't you gird your loins and come up and have a conversation instead of chatting away in the comment section? Come on. But hey, Velrayo, thank you for coming up, and you have a happy holiday, bud.
Thank you both. Take care. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, you can always tell. Yeah, that's always a red flag. That's how you can tell. By the way, people in advance if the person you're going to be talking to is going to be somewhat problematic is if they got the word truth in their username. That's always it's always been a sure sign for me, at least, that the person that I'm talking to is not going to be quite all that good, have a really good perspective on pretty much anything. Yeah. And
I'm
this
just
is-
wondering if this works in the like opposite direction.
It does.
Just Matt Doss says. Just Matt Doss says. If their name was The Lies, would that mean that they would be being truthful?
Oh, I don't know. But I've even met some atheists who've got the word truth in their username. Ashley knows who I'm talking about. And they were just as problematic as any Christian I've spoken to. But anyways, I want to read some more super chats until we get some more guests.
But behold what God calls love with the $1.99. If you had wheels, would you be a bicycle? Is this a reference to something?
I don't know, but if you had 4 wheels, you wouldn't be a bicycle. If you had 3 wheels, you wouldn't be a bicycle. Possibly if you had 2 wheels, you would be a bicycle. but not just general amount of wheels.
Well, I really don't know what this is in reference to, but I appreciate the
I
donation
don't. Yeah.
nonetheless. Oh, I need to get a rim shot. That's right. Anyways, at Mustache Mac 5229 with the $50. Thank you so much. W Mustache Mac. Many scholars seem to believe the Book of Revelation was written around 95 to 96 AD compared to the earlier date of 68 to 69 AD. This late coincides with the end of the Roman Emperor Domitian's reign. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the consensus of scholarship that the Book of Revelation was probably written during the ending of the reign of the Emperor Domitian, who was, persecuting Christians, and so they, which fits in with the author, who's working on the Book of Revelation, who's writing during a time of Roman persecution, and is mostly writing this book as a polemic against the Roman Empire. And in a way to comfort Christians in their time of like Roman persecution. So that I agree with the consensus of the scholarship on this point for sure.
And then at Carissa Wieland with 20 the Bible Guide gift memberships. Look at all the wonderful gift giving on this holiday season. Carissa, and I hope that at least one of you got yourself a new gift membership. Merry Quiz.
You need to make some more stickers and stuff, because I have a membership and it's looking a little sparse. Some would say.
Then for the New Year's, I will make some new stickers. We've got a lot more. We've got some more Duncan lore now to add to the sticker paradigm, so 100%. And at Herbie Shine with the £5. Hello, Governor. At Boldness J6T is in chat. They have questions. They seem to be scared of phoning in. It could be a good conversation. Well, Boldness, if you do have good questions, Kyle, dangling for Dalton. If you got some good questions, don't be afraid to call in. There, just click on the link, come over to the YouTube or to the TikTok channel, and have a conversation with us. I promise, I don't bite hard.
Unless you ask me to.
Anyways, and that's the end of the super chats for now. So everyone, make sure you're tapping that screen. Yeah, dangling for Dalton, Kyle says, that's might have to go on there. I don't know what the hell that sticker will look like. But we got Soiled Fern. Soiled Fern, I believe, is a friendly. But just so I can get a reminder, Soiled Fern, are you at least 18 years old, Bible believer, and pronouns?
I am over 18 by far. I am not a Bible believer, although I have read the entire thing myself several times. And I use they, them pronouns.
All right. Well, welcome back to the live, Fern. What brings you up?
Thank you. I kind of wanted to react to the earlier atheist comment regarding how religion helps certain people retain morality. I think that if we're going to take a nuanced approach and we say that there are certain personality traits that do better when they are being religiously controlled, you might say, or at least leashed, I would say that those people are kind of extreme cases, and that overall, in general, if you want to get the average person to behave more morally, religion is not the correct way to do that. Pro-social behavior does not have a scientific correlation to religiosity, and religiosity has a strong correlation with antisocial behavior in the majority of cases. Research from several 2015 papers, a 2022 paper, and other recent papers has shown that there is no direct correlation between religiosity and pro-social moral behavior. However, there is a lot of... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and so the problem with that you're going to find with these like correlation, or even like efficacies or anything like that, is they they're never 100%. And it seemed
Right.
like this individual was saying that there are cases in which could exist that individuals could benefit from this. And I think just like data, like as statistics works, I can't deny that data point. Like that's
Sure.
yeah, like I don't think that they were saying that religion was good or makes people better in any way.
Right. So my point is that yes, that's
Typically.
entirely correct. Yeah, that there are people who it does work for. I'm not saying there's a 100% approach. What I'm saying, however, is that if we look at outlier cases, then it would be better if everybody were default non-religious, because the outlier cases where religiosity actually was beneficial would still be in the minority, and the vast majority of people in which religiosity doesn't correlate to their moral behavior would be just as well off or better off, because religiosity has a tendency to attune people to behaviors that are actually antisocial rather than pro-social, even when it's not a moral question. So I think overall, saying religiosity can help certain people, it's like, well, that's fine, but those same certain people would be, the minority problem if we inverted the relationship that we currently see with social behaviors and religion. I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear. I'm saying if things were reversed from where they are now, then those people who are actually helped in terms of their religiosity, making them better people, they would just be the like rare problem cases rather than having the majority of religious problem cases that we currently have. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's generally what we agree on. I think that's what that individual was saying as well.
Really? I kind of read it differently. Well, anyway, other than that, I just wanted to really tell you both, Dalton, Ackland, I really appreciate that you tried so hard to build such a great community. And I'm grateful that you've allowed me to be a part of it and that you continue to help us grow. So thank you so much. You guys have been wonderful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And
Thank you so much,
I
Brian.
didn't. And I, if you got a different feel from that, that's also understandable, because I think when we're talking about like typicalities and atypicalities, it's really kind of complex to put those into quick and simple terms. So, but I appreciate your viewpoint on it and the clarification on the position. But yeah,
Thank
and
you.
we appreciate you being a part of the community as well, all of you. I mean, I think we're all proud of Dalton.
100%.
Oh, are we? Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Just cool.
Yeah,
We
you
are,
have
we're
to be proud of yourself too, Dalton. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how far this channel has come in the past year, but we're very much appreciated for it. But thank you for coming up, Fern, and you have yourself a happy holiday as well.
You too. Good night.
You too. And a long time returning guest who hasn't been on the show in a long time, another family, the Dreamy Eye. Hey, Dreamy. Welcome to the live.
Yeah, where have you been?
I've been here, I've been there, I've been everywhere. I'm currently here now, so I just came up to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, however the wording is best, and I hope you guys unwrap many gifts, eat plenty of food, and drink many of mead. Peace.
I'm definitely going to be going out and getting myself some eggnog. I love eggnog. That's my go-to drink for sure. Sadly, I can't go out and buy any right now because all the stores are closed. But tomorrow, I'm getting the eggnog. Good.
Southern Comfort, get
Awesome.
the Southern Comfort brand eggnog. That's where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm lactose
It's
intolerant.
nice to see you, Dreamy. Oh yeah.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm going to be drinking that while I'm at home. Not going anywhere once I start drinking that stuff. But yeah, there we go.
I forget that because you never actually like acknowledge that you are in your eating patterns.
Nope, I just I let myself suffer for the sake of a moment of pleasure. But yeah, there we go.
But eggnog is worth it, though. It's worth it for eggnog.
Yeah. But
Like if I find out eggnog gives you cancer, I'm still drinking it.
You know they make pills for that, Dalton, right?
I know, but I don't know where I put them, and they sometimes work for me, sometimes they don't. I don't know what it's all about. I think I'm gonna do a poll just for fun, get everyone to vote on. I'm gonna list a bunch of Christmas movies for y'all. And I want y'all to tell me what y'all think the best Christmas movie is out of all the ones I'm gonna name off. But y'all just make talk while I'm
here
doing
for
that.
it. Yeah, it's good to see you too, Ashley.
Yeah, we've had a lot of long, deep conversations about many different subjects. Also, everyone in the live, make sure you're sharing it out, tapping. If you can't send the heart me, maybe send a small gift to get us on the algorithm. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. And just share it out so we can get some more guests in here, so we can have interesting conversations, and help make your holidays merry. Yay! Thank you for the gifts. Yes, we appreciate that so much. Other than that, Dreamy, how have you been? You've just been floating around, living.
Just been working home. I came back from family members. Ate a lot of food. And with Christmas money, I'm just hoping to just spend it tomorrow.
Oh, what's your favorite thing to eat? Actually, chat, tell me what your favorite thing to eat is on the
Holiday food?
holidays. Yeah.
Man, if we're talking Thanksgiving, it's stuffing. If we're talking Christmas, has to be tamales.
Tamales?
I like
I like
hotter
a
the
good
better.
tamale.
sopapilla cheesecake for me.
Sopapillas. Stuffing.
But,
Everyone's saying stuffing.
but here we go. I gotta pull up for the next 3 minutes. Let's see who y'all's favorite Christmas movie is. Home Alone, The Grinch, the one with Jim Carrey, The Polar Express, The Santa Claus, Rudolph, or Elf. Which one of these is the best of the Christmas movies? And while all y'all on the YouTube chat cannot interact with the poll, hey, go ahead and type it in the comments, because I'm looking at y'all right now. I want to see overwhelmingly what y'all think is the best of these Christmas movies. You gotta pick one. It's not none of the above one.
These options got me so conflicted, dude. Like,
I was shocked when I was on. I think it was Disney Plus yesterday, and I was looking at their holiday films selection, and Die Hard was on there. It's not. It's just I don't know, guys. I don't consider it a Christmas movie, but that's just me. It is what it is.
It's got a Christmas tree. It's good enough for me.
I watched Elf. Someone also in the YouTube comments said their favorite food was crab legs, and I just realized I'm poor. So thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I actually watched a movie last night with my family. Really good movie, guys. It's called A Boy Named Christmas on Netflix. It was really cute. Really good movie. My sister cried 3 times at least. But it was it was such a endearing film. Basically, origin story for Santa Claus. I do.
Dalton doesn't cry. No, he's a real man.
No, I cry. I was crying just before the live today. I was watching the Doctor Who series 7, I think series 7 finale, and was bawling watching the end of the 11th Doctor. Oh God, it gets me. It's a Christmas special too, so it was like very mood orientated. So yeah, I cry all the time watching movies.
Nah, I was just joking with you.
Ashlyn
I know
has seen
you
me
don't take
cry.
on that.
Ashlyn has seen me cry in movies. Was it Rent I cried to? Was it Rent or was it something else?
I don't remember. It wasn't Hamilton.
No.
I think it might. Or was it a Disney movie?
It must have been Rent.
I think it was. Well, Rent is yeah. So that's explainable. But yeah.
Oh, I love that comment. God bless us, everyone, said Tiny Tim. Why, sir? It's Christmas Day, sir. Chapter says, is that Matt Smith or David Tennant? It's Matt Smith. He was the doctor at the end of series 7. Although I really, really like Judy Whittaker as well, or Jodie Whittaker. She really grew on me as well as the doctor. Hamilton. Someone said Hamilton made me cry. What? Was Hamilton sad?
I could see parts like when he like unalives or dies, and the kid Hamilton's son died. I mean, that's sad. I can see it.
Out of all the Christmas, by the way, only 14 of you voted. There's 143 people in here. What the fuck's going on? But anyways, Home Alone won best Christmas movie in the vote, and that makes sense. Just the music alone in Home Alone really gets me going. Love that movie. But I'm gonna read some super chats. We got.
Oh, I just like when they get beat up. Is there something wrong with me?
No, that's hilarious. The scream is good. By the way, the scene where he's lying down and they put the spider on his face and he screams, the scream was added in post so as to not get the spider to bite him. So there's that.
I think it's the manner of which they're getting beaten up, the creativity and whacking whimsy. That's the best part. Like ice on the floor, a paint bucket, like nails and stuff. That's
y'all. Sirocco in the comment section is so funny. They're like a first and foremost because why should we listen to a delusional stock boy who voted for Christians? First and foremost, what I don't know what you're referring to when you say voted for Christians, but also not a stock boy anymore. But even if it was, nothing wrong with being a stalker in a store. I think Sirocco, you're obsessed with me in a romantically or erotic fashion, and I'm not for it. But you do you, boo boo. Anyways,
at Stacy with the $9.99. Merry Christmas. I found your channel after you were on the line last week and love it. I hope you have a wonderful day. You have a wonderful day too, Stacy, and a Merry Christmas to you as well. And at Drew Smith TPA with the $50. Thank you, Drew Smith. They're always the MVP on these lives. Thanks for being an important part of this community. Happy holidays. It's very much you know what?
Serious moment here. Listen, guys, I love being part of this community, and I'm very grateful that I get to talk about the Bible like for a living. When I was younger, I wanted to do that as a preacher, but then as soon as I became an atheist, I wanted to do it for secular reasons and never thought I would ever be able to do this. And also, all of you people are just so lovely, except for y'all who are like obsessed with me. I'm talking about you, Sirocco. All right.
And Andrew.
Also, for the community part, the Discord server is open to everybody. So if you want to ask Duncan some Bible questions, there's a space for that. Or ask the community, or put your own sources in there. There's a space for you there. There's a ton going on. Or just come in and chat during the live, because there's places to drop memes, whatever it is that you would like to do. We can also make space for that. I was also thinking about doing a space for other atheist content creators, so you can be introduced to other creators and in here that we obviously know and love. So join that if you're open to having great conversations and just really embellishing the community. Thanks.
And I, as Ashlyn, also think Dalton is really fucking cool. Well,
thanks, Ashlyn. She is. But
that was totally me, y'all. Yeah. That was me. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah. All right. At Drew Smith.
At Drew Smith again with the $20. Not a big fan of Christmas movies. Whoa, Drew Smith, come on.
I'm a huge fan of Christmas movies, and I always make sure that I don't watch them until after December 1st. I don't even watch them like between Thanksgiving and December 1st. I only wait until December 1st. But I have a lot of them that I really love, especially this time of the year. I love the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Polar Express, the Santa Claus movies, like anything that makes me feel nostalgia for my childhood and the time. It always, I just love those things.
I think them's are fighting words, Drew. I think we're gonna have to arrange something here.
And then at Gretchen Z with the $13.11. It's a big one here. Okay, D, fuck with this one. I agree with you on Matt Smith. But who is the best master? John Sim, Michelle Gomez, Sasha Darwin. I spiral out with this question. So,
Dalton, I don't know what's going on. We can hear your voice first, and then the sound effect. At least I can. I don't know if the chat can.
You can hear both.
I can do.
Yeah.
How strange. Hopefully, now for anyone who's wondering like who I think is the best master, I'm gonna go with Michelle Gomez, or AKA Missy. She was the best version of the master, but that's just because I'm a huge sucker for like villains getting a redemption arc. It's like one of my favorite themes in film. That's why I liked like the Once Upon a Time series, because a lot of the villains in that show got a redemption arc. Or Lucifer literally is about the devil becoming like a really good person. Like I love stuff like that. So Missy is my favorite version of the master. Here's the thing. Sasha Darwin was a good master, but I don't understand it. How did Missy go from getting a redemption arc to becoming Sasha Darwin and then having like becoming evil again? I don't understand it. I wasn't a huge fan of that turn on the show, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, Christians, if you're out there, make sure you're tap. Oh wait, make sure you're coming up to talk to me. But also, if you are, let's see, do I have anyone in the box right now? I haven't even been checking my box. No, I don't have anyone in my box. Christians, make sure you come up and have a conversation with me. And everyone else, make sure you're tapping that screen. Tap that screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David. Aaron says it was weird. It was weird. It was a weird little, I didn't like it as a story beat as far as. Now, the recent Doctor, what's his real name in real life? I always forget. Wait a minute. Dr. 14's real name. His name was. Oh no, not him. I meant NUT something. Nakudi Gatwa. I really liked him as a doctor. I'm sad that his run was so short. He had a lot of. He was the most emotional doctor. He was really in touch with his emotions. I liked that in a doctor. You could really see that he was feeling things. I loved it. But very interesting to see Billy Piper as the next Doctor. Like, what a weird turn. For anyone who doesn't watch Doctor Who, they're like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I'm sure Ashlyn, you're like super lost right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't listening.
No, there we go. Yeah.
My ADHD when I'm doing something sometimes goes out. I think Punk says favorite horror movies. I thought you were asking me. But if you want to ask the chat, I guess that we can do that. Sorry, I was very distracted.
My favorite horror film. Here's the thing, guys. I don't watch a lot of horror. It's just not my cup of tea. But if I had to pick one, what is the closest thing to horror that I do like? I guess I like the Paranormal Activity films. I like anything where it's like demon possession and exorcisms and stuff like that. I find it entertaining. I guess I think I like those best because of the fact that I don't believe in the supernatural. It's not as scary to me as like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. But we got another super chat up on the board to read.
At Penelope Totenspair, with the $20, just dropped in to say hi and wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a funky Festivus. Best wishes for a prosperous new year and mega growth on your channel. Rock hard. For Doug.
Hey, Penelope, much appreciated. I am excited for 2026 because, listen, we've already gotten so much growth just in the past month that we've been doing this YouTube thing, and I'm so excited to see what 2026 has in store for us.
Also, that's Eon2 with the $1.99. Spoiler, sweetie. Thing for Dalton. And Herbicide with the £2. Have you watched The War Between the Land and the Sea?
The War Between the Land and the Sea. I'm afraid I haven't seen that. Oh, is this that's are you talking about, is this the spinoff, the Doctor Who spinoff from the BBC? I haven't. I only heard about it this week. Literally never heard of it until this week. But I might have to check it out. It won't have the Doctor in it, but nonetheless, it's in the same world, same universe. It's UNIT. And I think that might be really cool to check out. I want to support it because I want to see more Whoverse stuff.
But again, at Drew TPA with the $10. We watched horror on this channel nearly every time when the Bible believers crash.
It is. It's like a horror film. Every time I see some moron say to me, I don't have pronouns. It's absolute horror, 100%. It's a horror that that the American education system has failed so many Christians in this country.
I guess I do like. I wouldn't say like horror then. I guess I can't stop watching it.
There's something kind of like there's some part of us as watchers, as the audience, that we get like some sort of masochistic like pleasure off of seeing these people struggle with basic English grammar, and then subsequently having them the sadistic part of us that loves to watch them get absolutely annihilated afterwards. I don't know what
I don't know if I would take it that deep, Dalton. I think you just made that sound so sexual.
It is. No, it is for me. No, no.
It's wait, what? Yeah. Guys, the Bible Guy OnlyFans will be opening next week.
They're not quite there yet. I'm not that desperate. Aaron said just the tip. Yeah, enjoying pain doesn't have to be sexual. LOL. Sure it doesn't. But for me, but anyways, listen, guys. It looks like we're not going to be getting any more opposition in, which I suspected as much. But nonetheless, we did have some fun conversations today. We got to hang out for a little bit on this fine Christmas day. Now, y'all all been watching Blitz, and now you've been watching me. Everyone, go spend a little bit of time with your family this holiday season. I'm gonna go hang out with my sister for a little bit as well. I mean, we've been spending all day together, but I'm gonna spend a little bit more time with her because she's about to be going away with her husband to Disney World. They invited me to go, but at the time I wasn't making very much money at all. Only about $800 a month at the time is how much I was making. And in fact, I just got I got my last ever check from the job that I had, whopping $35. I can't wait to cash it. But they said about next year maybe I'll finally get to go. Anyways, and then one last super chat real quick before we
Get out. At Herbie Shine with the £2. Good day, Governor. Dalton's OF address.
no time soon. Not that desperate yet, guys. But anyways,
someone says they enjoy how often I slip between Dalton and Duncan. I've met both of the twins. They're hard to distinguish between the two of them. But
oh no.
It's I still sometimes slip up, but I've gotta work on it. I'm sorry.
With that with that one secret thing I got coming in the mail, Ashlyn, you know what it is. I might end up making a video related to that idea now. But anyways, hey everyone, thank you so much for all the super chats and all the likes, all the shares. We will be going live again, not tomorrow, but Saturday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, I've been the Bible guy. Remember, everyone, to keep reading, keep learning, and Matt, Doug, Miss Dalton, Ashlyn, $9.99. Thank you so much, Chip Payette. Everyone, have a happy holiday, and we will see you again Saturday. Bye.
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 Born from dust and questioning fire, wielding truth like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame, he tears through myth, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the stars align, knowledge and thunder intertwine. Reason ascends where blind faith fell. He reads the word and he reads it well. The Bible guide, seeker of the light. Through time and fire he rides the night, with reason's blade and wisdom's cry. The world shall hear the Bible guide. Scrolls of ages, words aflame.